they've done it again. About 18 months ago, we got Phoenix, a brand new colour film from Harman. Now, we've got Phoenix 2. Now, in the 24 hours since it's been launched, there are already a lot of videos out there on YouTube showing you exactly what this film can do in the hands of some very talented people. But what can it do in the hands of somebody who isn't talented? That's what we all really want to know, isn't it? Relax, I've got you covered. So, Phoenix 2, the long-awaited update to Harman's colour emulsion. This time they're launching in 35mm and 120 at the same time, so I can get stuck in right from the start. I don't have to ignore it for 6 months, so that's great. When I tested Phoenix way back last year, I thought it was a little rough around the edges, felt a little experimental, which it was, and I hoped that Harman were going to take it down the high quality colour film route rather than drifting off into the kind of grungy experimental side of things. And it sounds like that's exactly what they've done. They've tried to improve it, they've tried to get it as good as possible, and we have a whole new emulsion to test out. Recommended retail price for Phoenix 2 is going to be £12.99 for a 120 roll. I don't know what that is in your currency, but to compare, here in the UK, we're paying £20 a roll for Portra 400, about 18 for Portra 160, and about 22, I think it is, for Portra 800. Long story short, this is significantly cheaper than anything we're getting out of Kodak at the minute. And I do consider Kodak to be the benchmark for colour films. They're the high quality films that if you're gonna make a colour film, that's kind of what you should be trying to emulate. So here's what we're gonna do. Harman have sent me 2 rolls to test out. I'm going to take the first roll out and I'm going to try it in all sorts of different situations. I'm also, on this first test shoot, going to shoot it side by side with a roll of Phoenix 1 so we can get a direct comparison of how the 2 different emulsions handle different situations. That's the plan. Let's go take some pictures. I'm out today with a Rolleiflex SLX and a Rollei 6006, 2 very similar cameras that share lenses so we can isolate the differences in the pictures to just Phoenix. SLX loaded with Phoenix 2, 6006 with Phoenix Mark 1. Let's take a photo here with foreground in pretty deep shadow and the background well lit. We'll expose for the background and see if we can see anything in the foreground. And in fact, then we'll do the opposite and we'll expose for the foreground and see if anything's left of the background. All right, this is the 6006, so this is the Phoenix 1. So okay, we're ready to rock. Here it is, tree, fraction, right of frame, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now we are going to expose for the shadow here. And we're just going to take a straight up reading on the shadow. 125 at 5.6. Go there, here we go, 3, 2, 1. Swap cameras. Right then, so infinity focus, 250 f16. I'll get it while the tractor goes. Take it to 5.6. 125, 3, 2, 1. Right, let's take a look at those side by side. We can see the different colour palette already, and there are differences in the highlights and shadows. Keep your eye on the tree. Definitely more shadow details in the Phoenix 2. Highlights are harder to spot because I seem to have changed the focus for the second Phoenix 2 shot, but I think we can see that other than a bit of a yellow shift in the highlights, they're definitely less blown out. If I had focused on those far fields, I think we could probably have seen something there. Close up, lens cap on, and let's move on. So this is quite an interesting thing that has been mentioned on my channel before. But here in the UK, so it does look like I'm just walking through a farmer's field. This is in fact a public footpath. And it's basically a right for walkers to walk across farmers' land. And they are supposed to, the farmers are supposed to maintain these pathways through their lands. And they are supposed to not complain if people walk through their fields, as long as they're on the footpath. If you stray off the footpath, be amazed how quickly these farmers come out of the woodwork. Right, and this is where we are now. This is quite a nice picture. I might put the long lens on the 150, see if we can get something framed in here. Fascinating though, so there's an electric fence around this field, and as I was telling you earlier about these footpaths and how the farmers have to maintain them. So he's put this little insulated section just here, and that is where the footpath goes. And in keeping with the countryside bylaws, go anywhere else in this field and you get electrocuted. That's perfectly reasonable. So let's get the cameras out, tripod up, 150 lens on, and let's try and frame something here. Infinity focus, switch it on, and here we go. And exactly the same, f16, 125, infinity focus, switch it on, 3, 2, 1. The cows have come over to say hello. How you doing, cows? I mean, it would be rude not to get a photo of the cows now that they're here. All right, let's start with, yeah, let's go with the 80. Let's go 7.1, or let's go f8, 125. All right, good to go. Now, you might have been wondering if Harman got rid of the halation that the original Phoenix produced. No, they didn't. Holy cow, that is some halation. Let's switch you on, let's get a good focus. And just to show that it was also there on the first one, there's another cow with a halo. So cool. Right, the path goes that way, I believe, through a lot of nettles. Let's give it a go. Right then, we've reached another field corner, a confluence if you will. Let's do an infinity focus there. So 80mm, Phoenix 2, turned it off, twat, here we go. And let's do the same, in fact we could probably do it handheld on the 6006. Here it comes. Now these ones were worth putting side by side, gives you a good idea of how the colours have changed between the two films. Off we go. Yeah, seem to have set the cows off coming back through. I don't know what to make of me. They're all very bold, ready to get as close as they can when there's an electric fence between us. They come back. Dum. What are you doing, you fruitcakes? Cows are stupid. I'm going to do another couple of selfies here, sweaty selfies. So, start with the 6006, 50mm, 125, 5.6. And it goes from the film plane, right? So, 75 should be about here. Smile! Skin tones are an interesting one. Yellowy with the Phoenix 1. 125. 7.5 from the film plane, it's about there. But not that flattering with the Phoenix 2. What is it with the goofy expressions, eh? Let's do a serious one, let's do a... not sure. Okay, thoughts after the first roll. It's definitely a step on from Phoenix. They've definitely made some improvements. They've tidied it up a bit. It feels a little bit less rough around the edges. They've kept some of the things that make Phoenix Phoenix, like that halation. Whew. They've also dialed down the colors a little bit, given us a little bit more wiggle room in the shadows and with the contrast and that kind of stuff. So it generally feels like a more refined film, which is basically what it's supposed to be. So that's great. Right then, we're back out again, armed with the Bronica S2A. Come down to Sharpness Docks. I'm gonna have a little roam around here, see what I see. Now this shoot started going off the rails right from the first shot. This one was supposed to be a landscape looking out across the river, but nothing came out at all. Film was totally blank on this one. I mean, I can only blame the S2A, it's not the film, is it? The S2A or me, of course. Essentially, I got some weird results. I got some frames where nothing came out. I got some frames which were like crazy underexposed. I lined up and did some shots down the harbour into the sun, and this is what we got from that. Doesn't make much sense. I brought the camera back, I tested it, I checked everything, and there's nothing wrong with it. All the apertures are working fine, the shutter is working fine, so I'm baffled. I mean, the only thing I can think of is I metered wrong, which is perfectly possible. Wouldn't be the first time. I did get some nice shots. And I'll show you them now. And for the rest of the shots, it actually gives us a really interesting opportunity to see what happens when you screw up with this film. So in the paperwork that came from Harman, they did say it likes to be correctly exposed. And I can confirm if you underexpose it, it goes blue. If you overexpose it, it goes yellow. So there we go. Harman said likes to be properly exposed. They were right. So on that second shoot with that second roll, some good old-fashioned fuck-ups. But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about Phoenix. So what did we think? I'm going to sum it up in a single thought. And that is, I am going to go and buy some of this. I have a confession to make. And that is that the roll of Phoenix 1 that I shot on that first outing, side by side with the Phoenix 2, was left over from the first time I tested Phoenix 1 way back last year. I had a roll left over, it sat on my desk, and I never took it out. And that kind of sums up how I felt about Phoenix 1. Phoenix 2, I shot both rolls, made a pig's ear of the second roll, by all means, but I am going to go and buy some more. I'm actually quite excited about buying some more. The results I got from the first roll were great. And maybe I was taking a bit more care the first time round. I don't know, maybe I was paying more attention, who knows. It's not the first roll of film I fucked up, and it certainly won't be the last. But yeah, I'm going to go out and buy some more. That says how I feel about it. I love, this is real, I love the direction that this is going. I love the progression that they've made from Phoenix 1 to Phoenix 2. I said earlier that the benchmark for color films is Kodak, but that doesn't mean that we want all color films to be Kodak. We've got Kodak, we've got Portra, that's over there. We want Phoenix to be the best Phoenix that it can be. And it looks like it's well on its way to becoming just that. And that is your lot for today. Big thanks to Harman for sending over those rolls of Phoenix for me to try. Thank you guys for sticking around and seeing what you think of the whole thing. Drop me some comments below. Let me know what a clot you think I am for cocking it all up on the second roll. Could be the camera's fault. I'm actually, do you know what? That's a weird thing. I actually want you to blame me before you blame the S2A. It's like, no, it's not my S2A's fault. Leave the S2A alone. It's not his fault. Is it him or her? Loads of stuff coming up. Black and white paper reversal, big box camera, product reviews, camera reviews. Geez, I mean, it's just a mass of stuff coming up. So if you're not currently subscribed, please do subscribe. And that's it. Thanks very much for watching.